Hi, welcome back. So finally it's time for SKEW video. Now I've been thinking a little bit, so I might do one big video or split it into parts. So I'm not sure yet. You'll see when the video is live. I have a package here that I was waiting for this SKEW video, and we're going to make in this video as well. We're going to repurpose this captive ring tool, which I really don't have a need for. This is 12 mil wide by 6 mil thick. We have a ferrule here, and we're going to make a handle using the SKEW. And this package was sent by Steinert company. Thank you, Roland, for sending these. Now inside, which I'll show you in a few seconds, is one tool that I've been waiting for a while to try it out again. First I met this sort of tool like 17 years ago when I started learning my woodworking trade, which I'll show you in a few seconds. So they did provide the handle for this tool here, and this is ash handle, and these two types of oil. This is sort of a white oil. It shouldn't change the color much of light colored timbers like ash or maple, or I should better say not yellow it as much. So we'll do a little side by side, and this is their standard oil, which I'm actually quite anxious to try it out as well. A couple of brochures. This is their lathe type, one of lathes that they make, and VB36 is another one which is maybe more famous in ball turning community. So let me just put this aside and we'll see the tool in question. So like I said, first time I encountered this sort of tools was 17 years ago when I started to learn my trade, and this is hand forged SKEW chisel, and it's really different kind of feel. And now I've been told that these are like common high-speed steel tools. However, because they are manufactured differently, they go through different processes versus something like more how should I say this, mass-produced high-speed steel. These are quite different, and they should hold an edge longer and get a sharper edge as well. So I'm quite keen to test this out. This is, I believe, 35 to 30 mil like conical splay size, and 350 mil long. So you can see it's a quite long SKEW. I've never used this kind of conical shape, so I'm quite anxious to try it out, and I'll put a link down below from their like tab on their website for hand forged tools. They have gouges, scrapers, SKEWs, parting tool, all sorts of tools, and I hope to get a few of those as well in the future. You can see this is quite a long tool, so it doesn't need a long handle for it, and this type of tools you might see in old videos maybe, or maybe some old photos from the past century, so like in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, something like that. From production turner, they would use this kind of setup, and so I'm quite anxious to try this out, and we're going to use this SKEW to turn the handle for this one. So let me show you one of my most used SKEWs, and this is 1 inch 25 mil wide, and I hope you can see the profile here. So it's a little curve like so, and the angle here, if I would draw a line like so and get the point from the long point to short point in a straight line, it will be around 70 degrees, maybe 75 degrees, something in that range. So I don't like to go further down, it just doesn't feel right, the SKEW in that way. And you can see this one is quite similar just a little bit more of an acute angle, which I'm going to curve the top here and the bottom and suit my need of grind, let's say, or the profile. The same I'm going to do with this one here, the small guy. Let me just draw here, so I hope you can understand this a little bit better. So if we look from the skew, again from the top, bird's view, so we have this kind of profile, and this is where the handle would go. So again, if this was 0, this is 90 degrees, so just take a roughly 15 degrees off, and that works for me. I forgot to say that I'm going to show you how I go about skews and how I was learned to use them and profile them and then so on. So this is roughly 15 degrees, give or take. It doesn't have to be exact. Now I go a step further, and I really like curved edge. So I hope you can see this, how it looks. So it has the sort of a flattish here, not completely flat, but you see at the grinder how I make that, and then nice flowing curve to the short point here. So it looks like so. If I would draw it from the top again, so sort of a flattish, let's say 1/3, but not completely square, let's say, and just give it a little bit more curve as we approach the short point. And that's the bevel here as well. So that's pretty much on the shape of it. So we'll have to convert this big one, so I would have to take a little bit more here, more, let's say at 90 degrees, and then slightly curved it, and that will be my profile at the moment. When I test this out, I'll see if that works on this conical, which I assume it will. Same will happen on this one. You can see here, this sort of has the bevel here already on both sides, so I will probably have to go only to here and then curve it slightly, and that will be okay. Probably there will be remnants of the bevel, this original bevel here, but I don't care. With time I'll get down to this, and I'll show you what I like on these scraper blades, not skew blades, let's say. If you got it like this in this format, this is M2 high-speed steel bar, which I was given from Crown, and this just is quite convenient to convert to skew. So now the big question I get is which angle do I go for my skews, and just draw the side view here. Excuse my rudimental drawing, but I hope I'll do this okay. Like so. So angle, usually it's sort of stated as included angle. So if you saw the parting tool, you know it's roughly around 30 degrees. That's included angle. However, I find, and I was taught this way as well, that I don't care about the angles. And if you saw the parting tool video, you know a little bit what I'm talking about. Same goes pretty much for the gouges as well, for the spindle gouges, for pretty much any tool. I don't set on specific angle. However, I want to be sort of consistent with the skew chisels, and I like this sort of angle. It works great for softwood and for hardwoods, and you might have to change it a little bit, maybe get it more blunt or more acute, depends on the wood that you're working. But general principle that I go with is, and this is really big science and behind this, so bear with me. So we have thickness of the blade, right? So both, actually all three of these here are 6 mil thick blades. So here on at the drawing, this is 6 mil as well, let's say. My bevel here, the length of it, I want it to be 1.5 times longer than the thickness here. I hope that makes sense. Let me repeat that. So the thickness here is 6 mil. So if I multiply that by 1.5, I will get 9 mil length, let's say, or number 9 mil. So that's my angle. Now I say angle, but it's sort of a length, let's say. If I take a ruler and let's go from 10, it will be much easier to see. So I hope you can see this is roughly, if I place it correctly, give me a few seconds. So you can see, I hope, that there's 9 mil, maybe a little bit over 9 mil, somewhere around there, that works for me great. So it can be a little less than 9, a little over 9, obviously, but I generally shoot for, if I have 6 mil thick blade, I would go for 9 mil, and that actually is, for me, the easiest way to grasp around angles and everything around skews. To say it again, so this is 6 mil thickness of skew, which is actually quite standard thickness. I wouldn't go for any thicker than that, just isn't necessary. It's not scraper, and we're not using a big leverage here to shape the wood. So 6 mil is the fattest I would go, let's say. So 6 mil, if you multiply that by 1.5, you will get 9 mil. So I hope this makes a little sense here. So again, I don't go by included angle here and then measure it with protractors and stuff like that. So when I start to sharpen the skew, the few of the key points that I want to keep is center line. So if I draw a line, I want that center line to be the peak here on both sides, on both short edges here. So the point here has to be in the middle of the blade. So the way you achieve that is that you consistently grind both sides. So don't go one side way over and then you'll have actually a longer bevel. So when everything aligns correctly, you'll have sort of a same bevel length on both sides, and you'll have it in the middle of the blade, the very peaks here. So I hope that makes sense. So again, this is the big one that we're going to convert, actually not convert, but reshape. So a little flattish here, almost flattish surface, and then curve down for the short point, and again for this one here as well. So okay, so here we are at the grinder, and I'll start out with a smaller skew. Now these edges are not sharp, but they're actually not easy to glide, especially so the skew, you'll hold it on an edge, which I'll go when we're going to use in more in depth. So you want this to be more user-friendly and rounded over. Now the top edges, you don't necessarily have to round it over more, but these two, for the short point, I like to have it more rounded over. This one here, as you can see, got straight from the blacksmith office, let's say, workshop, nicely rounded over, and I just hit it with all the edge here with this is 360, just lightly go over, just to smooth it out a little bit more. So you can use belt sander, whatever you have at hand to bring this to nice rounded shape. If you're using like bought SKEW with the handle and from manufacturer, most likely they come with already sort of a rounded profile as well. This is something that I was way overdue on making, and that is flattening the platform here. It has a weird hump here, here on the lower part here, and whenever I would sharpen SKEW, it can sort of how should I say it? It's not sitting flat on the platform, so it gives a little weird motion. So make sure your platform is a decent one and flat one preferably. So again, I'll start with this one. I'll just use the coarse stone here just to get this all down, and I won't dunk this into water. I'll just let it cool down naturally. It's winter anyway, so it shouldn't take too long. So okay, so this is now a rough profile. I don't worry about bluing. I won't dunk this into water. Like I said, it may get hot on the CBN, but from experience, when I use the CBN, it usually lightly cools down by itself. So again, I'm not worried about the blue of the steel. High-speed steel usually are not the issue. So I have the platform set for, I think that is the correct angle, but we'll see. So what I like to do is for my sort of a curved edge on the SKEW is actually have it, I don't go past the center line, let's say. So you can draw a line if you like. So perpendicular line to the wheel, I don't go past that. I don't even go all the way down to it, so maybe a degree or two up to that line. So if this would be the perpendicular line to the wheel, I would stop maybe a degree or two before lining it up here. So hope that makes sense, and then I push it up and give it the curve, and obviously do that from both sides. So that's one side for now. I flip it to the other side. So as you can see, this side is very close to finished, still a little bit more. So I'll switch again to the other side. So I hope you can see now I'm getting really close to finish grind. Still have a flat spot here on the bottom. It's actually a little bit warm to the touch. So now I'll actually show you this as well. So I'm pretty much bang on the middle. The point is in the middle of the blade, and let's just check the bottom. And that's as well very good. So I'm parallel on both sides. So now I just want to check the length of the bevel here, and try to show you this as well. And it's not that easy when the blade is hot. So I hope you can see this. This is now like 7.5 mil, so I can extend the grind or the platform, I should say, to a little more acute angle. So you can tap it down there a little bit, so this is not tightened all the way down. So just want to see if I'm taking the heel here, which I am, so I'll just continue on with this angle. You can double check one more time, so if I'm on the point in the middle of the blade, which I am on the long point, and on the short point as well, that's okay. And you can see now this is the grind that I'm going for, or the shape. So slight straight or straight-ish here at the long point, and then I'll just curve this a little bit more. I have a little bump here, you can see maybe. But let's see, just double check the angle here. So I hope you can see that I am really close. This is 8.5 mil, so I'll stick with this. That's okay. I can maybe tap it one more time down there just to extend it a little bit, but that's pretty much it. And this is now it. So this is the finished skew, 1/2 inch, the grind on it, or the shape. So you can see I don't care about the included angles. I just measure the length of the bevel, and if it's in that kind of formula, so the thickness multiplied by 1.5, it should get you roughly in that ballpark, and that actually works for me. And like I said, I was taught this way like 17 years ago almost, to set it up. So now I'll switch it to the big conical one. This one I'm quite curious to see how it goes on a CBN, so I won't go, or actually I might go just roughly on a coarse wheel just to shape it. Okay, so that's a rough profile, you can see, and it's obviously dull at the nose. So now it's this should be a good angle for all the rest of the skews that I have. So I'll just use that angle and just sharpen it. So what I found out, as I'm getting quite close to still a little flat spot, you can maybe see a reflection there, the length isn't the same. So I just double check the thickness, and it's conical this way, but it's also conical that it's thinner at the very top here and gets thicker as you get down to the tank here. So here it's just a little less than 5 mil. So I just have to adapt, and the angle should be okay, since it's okay on the other as well, but it will be a little shorter length of bevel. So I hope this makes sense to you. Again, I'm not worried about the angle number. I'm worried about how this will perform, and we'll see that in a few seconds. And just have to sharpen it a little bit more, still have a original bevel here and here as well. So here we are back at the lathe, and I want to bore in this length here, and this has already 6 mil hole for this very point here. It's roughly 6 mil square, maybe a little bit bigger on this conical side here, and I just lightly sanded the handle with 240, which will be the last grit for this handle as well. So it's more like apples to apples, let's say, comparison when we use the white oil. So so this is pretty much that the bottom of the hole, and here in the drill I have 7 mil. drill, which I'll go roughly 20 mil less depth than this one is here, 6 mil. So just roughly see where we are. So around 20 mil. Okay, so I have a rough idea where to stop. Okay, so that's it, and I'll switch to 8 mil or 9 mil, something like that. So this is 8.5 mil drill bit, and let's see, so roughly maybe 1 inch in. So that's it. And for final drill, I'll use this 10 mil drill, and just going to bore maybe 5-6 mil, maybe 10 mil top here at the very top of the handle. So that's pretty much it. Now there will be a little hole here on the sides, but I'm not concerned about that. So you can see this pretty much goes in quite well. So what I'll do actually is just grab a smaller drill bit and stick it way down and just give it a little side to side motion, and this should be now a nice fit inside. And you can see I still have a little ways in, and I still have to adjust it so it's roughly in line where I want it to be. So I'll just play with it a little bit more. There we go. So that's now should be it. And you pound the handle here. You can tap it on the lathe or use the wooden hammer here, which I'll do. Here it is, all attached. You can see pretty straight in. Quite happy with that, and a really nice fit here, you can see. And now I won't oil it yet, I'll oil it at the very end. So now it's time to actually turn the handle for the smaller skew, and then we can go in depth on how to use a skew, and I hope get rid of your fear of using one. So I have here a drill bit, which is the smallest here measurement for the smaller skew, and just going to position this here by eye and position here as well. Just hold it lightly, turn on the lathe, hold on the blank and just drill it. I think that should be okay to shape the handle. So pop that end into spur drive and just lightly press it on. And I'll speak about tool rest height and speed and everything in just a few minutes. And let's see how this big boy is working. So tighten up the tailstock a little more. That's looking really nice, and I'll just go a few strokes with the grain just to remove any scratches. Are two handles that I've turned yesterday, or for you this is just a few minutes ago. So here on this one is just the white oil, and it's a nice color, and it's actually maybe a little, just maybe a shade lighter than the true ash, but they do recommend that you put the regular oil on top of the white oil, which I did on this one here, and I hope you can see it's a true color of ash here, without any oil on it, and I really do like it. So it has the oil on, but you wouldn't notice it in terms of color. And just for the comparison, this is the same sort of ash as this handle here, but you can, I hope you can see, try to get it. This is with just the regular oil on, and you can, I hope you can see in person it's a little bit more obvious. This is more yellow, as ash usually is when you apply the oil, versus this one with white and regular oil on, and this is just the white oil. So if you like the yellow color of ash, then just use the regular oil. But if you're like me and you like the true color of just sanded ash without any oil on it, so this is the way to go, and just really is nice color. And again, it still has oil on, but doesn't look like that, so quite pleased with that. So like I said, I'll leave the link down below where you can find this oil. And I believe that Steiner company do send stuff worldwide, so if you want to order and test this for yourself, if you're using a lot of light colored timbers, but you don't like the yellowing effect that the oil has on it, natural oils, then this white oil and combination maybe of regular oil and white oil is maybe for you. So like I said, the links are down below. So that's one catch. That's the other one. Let's do the one before the tool rest. So that's three. What else? Show you this one. So that's the major one. This will be nice decoration